Hello, welcome to White Official. So this is another video where I'm going to solve a typical TCS CPA programming question in Python. So here I'm using PyCharm as an interpreter, which I have found it to be one of the best interpreters for Python. So without much ado, let's begin. So here first we need to create a class player with following attributes. So here do note that TCS is very particular about the names. So if you have to create a class player, then it means the name of the class should be player and not something else. So let's start. Class player, and then we need these attributes, and we need to create a constructor which takes all these attributes in the same sequence. Okay, so def, we are defining the constructor as dunder init. Here dunder means double underscore, init double underscore. So we always have this self in these constructors. I'll explain you why later. So first player name, then player country, player age, number of matches, number of runs, and number of wickets. ETs. Okay. Now we need to define all of them one by one as follows. Self dot player name will be equal to player name. So here we can see the use of self. We will define each and every variable in the same format so that we can access all these variables using just one other variable, that is self. So for player, sorry, here I have made a mistake. It's NAME. Okay, so for player name, we will access it as self.player name. Similarly, self dot player country will be equal to player country player age number of matches also do keep in mind that during the TCS CPA you won't get this kind of an interpreter which will auto complete things for you, so be prepared. Number of runs, and finally we have number of wickets. So here this constructor is done. Now we need to define another class called team with below member functions. So here in this team, TCS has not mentioned any other attributes or this constructor, so we will not create a constructor for class team. So this def is over and class is also over. Now class team, we need to create two functions over here, that is get min runs and get max wickets. So def get min runs, okay, just a minute, yes, self and the player list. Because here we can see it will take a list of player objects as input and then return the player which scores minimum runs. So we have this player list and self. Now I will pass this for now. We will come back to this function later. Similarly, we have second function, get max wickets. We need to pass player list over here also, and we will pass this. So we will complete these functions later. First we'll do this main function. We'll write this main function and check if our code is working or not. Once we are confirmed that our code is working, then we will come back to these these functions, and then finally do a final check with these functions too. So now let's start with this main function. So for writing main, we begin like this: if dunder name, again as I told, dunder means double underscore, so it's dunder name dunder is equal to dunder main. So this is the beginning of main function. Now let's see what we need to do over here. So you will need to write the main function separately and completely. So first we have to write the main program, which is inline to the sample input description. Okay. So we need to create a list of players. For this, first we need to read the number of players we want to store. So number of players, int input. So here we are using int because we know that we need to get this number of players as an integer value and not as a string. For string we use just input, and for integers we use this int input. So this int converts this string value to integer value. Now we need to read all the values for the players, that is all these for each and every player. So first we will create a for loop for I in range number of players. So what this would do is basically, if the user inputs 5 players, then this loop would run 5 times and create 5 player objects, which all these 6 attributes. So let's start. Name should be an integer, so input. Country should be a string, so input, this name should also be a string and not integer. Name, country, age, this should be an integer, so int input. Then comes matches, also an integer. Finally runs. Input. Okay, so are we left with anything else? Name, country, age, matches, runs. Okay, wickets. This is also an integer. Okay, so done. Now what we need to do next? Okay, so we need to create player objects and then add those objects to a list. So first we'll need a list. Let's name it as team list. This will be empty. We will use this team list to create a team object by passing all the player objects to this team object. So here we need to create a player object. So player, and now we'll pass all these attributes to this player. name, country, age, matches, runs, and wickets. Now this player object so created should be appended to this team list. So team list dot append this entire thing. Okay. So I think this for loop job is done. Let's get out of this. So now we will have to call this function get min runs and get max wickets. So in order to call these functions, we can see that these functions belong to this class team. So first we need an object of this class team. So first we create a team object. Let's name it as team obj and class team, and we'll pass this team list to this class, to this object. So now we have an team obj, which is an object of class team, and we will use this to call these two functions, get min runs and get max wickets. So min run details, this thing would store everything that is returned by min runs, and we will call this using this object as follows: team obj dot get min runs, and we need to pass this team list over here. Similarly, we need to do this for max wickets. So max wicket or wickets details would be stored here in a similar fashion. Team obj dot get max wickets, and we'll pass this team list. Okay, so now we need to check if our code is running till here or not. So print done. The purpose of this line 31, that is print done, is to check if this code is running perfectly or not. If we get this done as output, we will be assured that this code is running and it has no errors. Let's try. I will run this. For input, I will use this sample test case. You just need to press compile in the TCS CPA exam, and input would be given automatically. So we have this. I will copy this and paste it over here. Okay, so I think so here I do not need to give this because we do not have any constructor for this class team. So this class team would not take any objects. Let's check again. Again, I'm pasting this. Okay, so now we are getting this as done. This means that our code is fine till here. So after this, now we'll get back to these two functions. First, get min runs. So as the name suggests, we need to find the player with minimum runs. Let's check this, which takes a list of player objects as input parameter and returns the player which scored minimum runs. And we have to assume that no player has the same number of runs scored. Okay, let's start. So let's first initialize minimum runs as, let's keep it 10,000. And here keep in mind that do not initialize this as none, because sometimes this none creates an issue with the TCS compiler. And other thing is that never create variables like max or min, because max and min are internal Python variables, and I don't know why, but the TCS compiler cannot differentiate and override these variables. So while I can create them in this PyCharm, but then TCS compiler would throw an error in these cases. So I'm using min runs instead of min, or you can simply use m. So we are taking a value as 10,000. Now we will iterate in this player list. So for I in player list, we will check the value of runs, I dot number of runs. If this is less than min runs, in this case, min runs would be equal to I dot number of runs. Okay. So what this loop basically does is this will iterate on this player list and take the number of runs value of each player and compare it with min runs, and then after the completion of this loop we will have the min runs of the we will have the minimum number of runs scored by a player. So now we just, since here we have assumed that no player has the same number of runs scored, so now we just need to find the player whose runs is equal to min runs and return their details. So for details, we will create a list as min details, and then again looping through this player list, we will find that if min runs is equal to I dot number of runs. If this condition is true, then we need to give the player details over here in min details. So output description says that first three lines of the output represent the minimum scored player details, that is name, runs and country. So we need the name, run and country. So min details dot append I dot player name just a minute. Yes, min details dot append I dot, we got the player name, now number of runs. So I dot number of runs, again min details dot append I dot player country, and after this we have got the details of the player in min details. So we will just return this min details. So let's see if this function is working or not. For that we will now print min run details and see if we have the correct details or not of the player who had scored the minimum runs. Let's start. Okay, so we are getting this output. Yes, the output is matching. Klusnar 3000 South Africa. Okay, so this is working fine. Now let's move on to get max wickets. So this is similar to min runs. The only difference is we need to find the player which is having the maximum wickets taken. Takes a list of player objects as input parameter, returns player who took the maximum wickets. Again, assuming that no player has taken the same number of wickets. Okay, so let's get started. First, we will initialize max wickets as -1. Now iterating through the loop through the player list once again, we will check if I dot number of wickets, this one, if this is greater than max wickets. In this case, we need to change the value of max wickets to I dot number of wickets. Okay. So again, this loop would find the maximum wickets and keep it here in this max wickets. Now we need max details, that is the details of player who is having maximum wickets taken or who took the maximum wickets. So we will add those details to this list as we did earlier with this function get min runs. So again, iterating in player list, let's check if I dot number of wickets is exactly equal to max wickets. In this case, we need the details of the player. So max details dot append. Let's see which details we need now. So we need the name, wickets taken, and the country. So I dot player name, again max details dot append I dot number of wickets, I dot number of wickets, and then finally max details dot append I dot player control, and we will return these values back. We'll return these max details back to the main function. So now let's check this also, max wicket details, if this is coming or not. So again, yes, so Kushnard 250 South Africa, Kushnard 250 South Africa. Okay, so this is also working fine. So I think we are good to go. Now we just need to output everything in separate lines. For that, we will take the help of loops. So for I in min run details, print I. So this will basically print all the variables kept in min run details in separate lines. Similar thing is to be repeated for max wicket details. Print I. Okay, so I guess we are done with this. Let's compile it for the final time. Yes, so Kushnard 3000 South Africa, Kushnard 250 South Africa. Here we can match it, and this is done. So basically this was my approach to TCS CPA programming questions in Python. I basically divide this question first. I write the classes, I leave the functions blank, and then complete the main function. After this, I compile the code and check if everything is working or not, and then I complete the functions one by one and compile each time to check if they are working or not. And then after final compilation, I submit the code. So I hope you loved this, and thank you for watching.